Chair, just before we start, allow me to let you know that the chair and her team have been re-elected for another 1 year in office. So I want to take this opportunity to congratulate them on their re-election. Well done.
Thank you very much, and congrats from us.
Thank you, Governor Cicely, and thank you, team.
Yes, please proceed, Chairperson.
Okay. Thank you. This is a submission from the Council of Governors in recognition of the fact that the sovereign power of the state is exercised at two levels of government. That is the national government and the county governments, whose distinctness is recognized by Article 6.2 of the Constitution.
Maybe, Governor, to guide you, to save on time, you have 20 minutes. Don't take us through the whole write-up.
Don't worry.
Just do highlights.
It's very basic. Taking into cognizance the establishment of the National Dialogue Committee to foster productive dialogue and consensus building in adherence to the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Kenya, we note that the committee will recommend suitable constitutional legal policy reforms concerning the matters of significance to the devolved system of governance and to the people of Kenya. In view of the foregoing, the Council of Governors, on behalf of 47 county governments, makes the following proposals. Number one, on boundaries, the limitations. The Council notes that the process of the review of boundaries is due, latest March 2024, which is the 12-year outer limit required by Article 89.2 of the Constitution, and the continued delay in the constitution of the IEBC, the body mandated under the Constitution to review the boundaries of the electoral units, is most unfortunate. We therefore call upon the committee leaders and political actors to have a chance, to give a chance to the selection panel to complete the exercise. We also call on Parliament to provide the required budgetary allocation to IEBC so that there are no further delays. And further, we urge that Parliament fast tracks the enactment of the County Boundaries Bill to provide for the legal framework for the review of the same. On B, proposed devolution-related issues for consideration by the committee. The Council proposes the following issues, which will go a milestone in the implementation of devolution for consideration by the committee. Number one, funding and periodic costing of the national and county functions. Pursuant to Article 216 of the Constitution, the Commission on Revenue Allocation is established to make recommendations concerning the basis for the equitable sharing of revenue raised by the national government between the national and county government. The Council of Governors is proposing that the National Treasury and the Controller of Budget be assigned the responsibility of periodically costing national and county functions to determine the basis for equitable sharing of revenue every 5 years. We also recommend development of a policy to guide the periodic costing of all national and county functions. And we further propose transfer of resources of county functions that have been transferred, which resources are still being held at the national government. Number two, complete transfer of functions from the national government to counties. The Council of Governors is appreciative of the functions that have already been devolved, but is asking that the remaining functions that are still outstanding and still being held at the national government to be transferred to the county. In addition, this will include restructuring or winding up of parastatals that carry out county government functions, and these parastatals have employed staff, whereas counties also have the staff performing the same functions, leading to not only duplication but wastage of resources. The Council further recommends that all laws developed under the promulgation of the Constitution and after that clawback on devolution should be repealed, and we have attached a comprehensive list of all the sectoral laws that claw back on devolution. Additionally, we recommend the development of legal notices revoking previous legal notices delineating the county and national government functions. Number three, increase of the equitable share of revenue for the county governments to 45%. Articles 203.2 and 3 of the Constitution stipulate that for every financial year, The equitable share of the revenue raised nationally that is allocated to county governments shall not be less than 15% of all revenue collected by the national government, calculated on the basis of the most recent audited accounts of revenue received. The Council recommends an amendment to Article 203(2) and 3 of the Constitution to the effect that every financial year, the equitable share of revenue allocated to county governments shall not be less than 45% of the previous year's revenue collected by the national government and calculated on the basis of declared national exchequer accounts. And we have given details of how we've come up with that. Number 4, borrowing powers by the county governments. We recognize that Article 212 of the Constitution allows the county government to borrow only if the national government guarantees the loan and the same is approved by the county assembly. The public finance management sets the debt ceiling for the country. While we note that the policy direction and the global best practice is to have a debt anchor as a percentage of gross domestic product in present value terms as opposed to existing debt ceiling of 10 trillion, there is need to ensure that borrowing by the national government does not prejudice borrowing by the county governments. Over time, the stock of public debt has been used to deny counties their share of revenue, with counties not having contributed to its increase. This is therefore to ring-fence an amount for borrowing by county governments and also ensure the process is approved by the Senate as a representative of county governments. We therefore recommend an amendment to Article 212 of the Constitution to provide that 20% of the debt ceiling is ring-fenced for county borrowing. Number 5, the National Treasury. The Council of Governors proposes that the National Treasury shall be established as an independent institution separate from the Ministry of Finance in order to effectively serve both levels of government. With this, there shall be 2 IFMI systems, one designated for the national government and the other for the county governments. And in view of the devolution of services, we propose that the approval of withdrawals from the County Revenue Fund by the Controller of Budget be at the county or regional COB offices level and not the national office level as the case at this point in time. Number 6, anchoring and resourcing the intergovernmental relations structures into law. Article 189 of the Constitution provides for the cooperation between national and county governments. However, it fails to anchor the necessary intergovernmental institutions established under the Intergovernmental Relations Act No. 2 of 2012, which facilitates consultation between the 2 levels. We therefore recommend the anchorage of the national and county government coordinating summit, which is the apex body for intergovernmental relations between the 2 levels of government and in 2 levels of government in the Constitution. We also propose the anchorage and sufficient financing of the Council of County Governors Secretariats as a body fostering intergovernmental relations between the 47 county governments under the Intergovernmental Relations Act. Number 7, on safety and security. The Council recognizes that the Constitution clearly states that security is a national government function and should be carried out by national government officers. However, in the expanded definition of national security, most of the functions that are performed by county governments respond directly to attainment of national security. National security infrastructure, such as police stations, police facilities, amongst others, are hosted within the counties, and any disruption would affect the functioning of counties as well as national security. Critical infrastructure, the counties including transport, logistics system, water, communication, oil storage, electricity and gas reticulation facilities are important as they also contribute to national security. The exclusion of the county governments in the national security process may have been overlooked in the enactment of the Constitution 2010. The Council therefore recommends the amendment of Article 240 of the Constitution, which establishes the National Security Council to provide for the representation of the county governments through one of the county governors, and we further propose for the establishment of a county security council at the county level to be presided over by the recommends that the national government releases funds to counties to support the county policing authorities, which are key structures of the counties on matters security. This is pursuant to Section 41 of the National Police Service Act. Number 8, on impeachment of governors and deputies, the Council proposes changes to the process of impeachment of county governors to prohibit any impeachments within a period of 24 months after their election into office and 12 months towards the next general election. This will mirror the petition for recall of the members of parliament as provided under Section 45 of the Election Act and enable sufficient time for governors to set up the administration for purposes of service delivery. And number 9, and finally, consideration of legislation concerning county governments. The Senate represents counties and serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments under Article 96(1) of the Constitution. The Council proposes that the mandate of the Senate in considering, debating, and approving bills concerning counties should be expanded beyond the provisions of Article 110(1) as all the bills passed by Parliament concern the county government. I submit, co-chairs.
Thank you very much, the COG chair.
And I'm sure I did not even get 15 minutes.
You did very well.
You have done very well.
You did exceptionally well, and we must congratulate you. No wonder you have been re-elected as the chair of COG. Now, we shall.